Hi, I'm Uncle Bear, and I'd like to read you a story that's one of my favorites. It's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I'm not really a bear, but this story is about real bears. So here we go. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived together in a pretty little cottage in the middle of a wood. There was a little teeny weeny bear, a middle sized bear, and a great big huge bear. Now, these bears were very fond of porridge, and they each had their own porridge bowl. A little bowl for the teeny weeny bear, a middle-sized bowl for the middle-sized bear, and a big bowl for the great big huge bear. And they each had a chair to sit on. A little chair for the little teeny weeny bear, a middle-sized chair for the middle-sized bear, and a big chair for the great big huge bear. They each had a bed to sleep in. A little bed for the little teeny weeny bear, a middle-sized bed for the middle-sized bear, and a great big bed for the great big huge bear. One fine summer morning, when the middle-sized bear had made the porridge and poured it into their three porridge bowls, the three bears decided to go for a walk in the woods while the porridge cooled down, for they did not like burning their tongues eating porridge when it was too hot. So away they went through the woods. The middle-sized bear and the great big huge bear went walking along slowly, while the little teeny weeny bear ran in front and turned somersaults because it was such a beautiful morning. While the three bears were out walking, a little girl named Goldie Locks came running through the woods. She stopped in surprise when she saw the pretty little cottage, and she stood on her tiptoes and peered in the window. Seeing nobody inside, she turned the door handle and opened the door and walked in. Now, Goldilocks was not a very nice little girl, or she would never have walked into another person's house without being invited. And now, when she saw the porridge on the table, she felt hungry and decided to have some for herself, which again was not a very nice thing to do. First, she tasted the porridge in the big bowl, but that was too salty for her. Then she tasted the porridge in the middle-sized bowl, but that was too sweet for her. Then she tasted the porridge in the little bowl, and that was just right. And Goldilocks liked it so much, she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks sat down in the big chair, and that was too hard for her. Then she sat down in the middle-sized chair, and that was too soft for her. And then she sat down in the little chair, and that was just right. But she sat herself down with such a bump that she went right through the bottom of the chair and fell right to the floor. Then Goldilocks went upstairs to the bedroom, where the three bears slept. First she laid down in the big bed, but that was too high on the head for her. Then she laid on the middle-sized bed, but that was too high on the foot for her. And then she laid down in the little bed, and that was just right. So Goldilocks covered herself up with blankets and lay there comfortably until she fell asleep. Soon the three bears came home to breakfast, and the first thing they saw were three spoons standing in three porridge bowls. "Someone's been eating my porridge," said the great big huge bear in his gruff, rough voice. "Somebody's been eating my porridge," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. "Someone's been eating my porridge and eaten it all up," squeaked the teeny little weeny bear in his teeny weeny voice. The three bears began to look around the room. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," said the great big huge bear in his great rough voice. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. "Someone's been sitting in my chair and broken the bottom of it," squeaked the teeny weeny bear in his teeny weeny voice, and he burst into tears. The middle-sized bear put a cushion across the broken seat and gave the little teeny weeny bear some of her porridge so he'd stop crying. And the great big huge bear had made sure there was nobody hiding in the kitchen. The three bears went upstairs to the bedroom. "Someone's been lying on my bed," said the great big huge bear in his great gruff voice. "Somebody's been lying on my bed too," said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Someone's been lying in my bed and she's still there, squeaked the teeny-weeny bear in his teeny-weeny voice. Goldilocks had heard in her sleep the rough, gruff voice of the great, big, huge bear and the middle-sized voice of the middle-sized bear, but only if she heard someone speaking in a dream. When she heard the teeny-weeny voice of the little teeny-weeny bear, as it was so sharp and shrill, it woke in her at once. When she saw the three bears standing at one side of the bed, she tumbled out of the other side and jumped out the window. Then she ran through the woods as fast as she could, and the three bears never saw her again.